All right. Good evening, everyone. I think you have like 1 minute. So seven.
Isaac, Michael will handle introductions and bring
Okay,
you in.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So let's just wait for like a minute or two. It's almost time. So. Hi guys, hi everyone. Um, so it's time already, and I'm sure Isaac is ready for us to lay it on in an automatic way. Auto layout, God. All right, nice. Welcome to our tech talk. Scrap that. Welcome to Design Yard people. Like so. What we try as much as possible to do is to see how we can, bring everybody together and learn from ourselves. No one is an island. We're all just work in progress. So today we've decided that okay, well, let's look at the things that Figma decided to change and see how we can sort of like bring people's, mind to it and make it so easy for you to use. So in about another 3 to 4 minutes we'll start fully. So let's just give people the grace to come in. Let's wait for like another 4 minutes. All right, let's give people the grace to settle in. I think we've moved from so we're about six. Okay, people are joining in. All right, so let's just hold on for another 4 minutes and see if we get up to 15 people, then we can just move on, from here. So Isaac, I know you're prepared. I know you're ready to blow up on us. You're ready to show us, the skills that you have acquired over, the years. So let's just hold on for 4 minutes and then we'll start off from there. So in the meantime, for those of us that are here, we can reach out to our friends. We can send, the flyer to them now. We can also send the link so that they can also join. Let's do that because it's not just us that wants to learn. So we can also invite other people to make it fun. Right? It's a conversational class. Nobody's professor here or student. We're all work in progress. So let's just try as much as possible to reach out to other people, other our friends, and invite them for the class. All right, so it's 4 minutes, after the time we're supposed to start, and I can see that more people are joining. Thank you guys for coming to the yard. So this is Design Yard people. That's who we are. We are a community of young people. Maybe the oldest among us is our mentor. But then we are young people, right? We're just here to vibe, teach ourselves, and have fun. So today Isaac will be teaching us about auto layout. If you could recall, like 2 weeks, or I think it's 2 weeks ago, that Figma updated their features, and we got new updates, features like auto layout, the dark mode, and a couple of other things. But then, on our side, we felt okay, it would be good that we had someone in the house who is like a professional in this thing that can come and distill it for us to the best of understanding, right? And that's what we're doing here today. So, but before we start, I would just want, I'm assuming that people that we have here are not the same people that joined the former class or the previous class. So I would suggest that we all go to the chat space, write your name, write what you do, and then your years of experience. So let's just do that quickly. That would sort of help Isaac understand the kind of people he's speaking to. Please, let's just do that quickly before the whole session starts. Your name, your profession, and then your years of experience. All right, waiting for you guys. I just led the way as the pace setter. Okay, are we safe? All right. Akintunde, your surname is they say it's Kokri.
This one them get as a big guy.
No. It's not supposed to be Nigerian. You show me say you not here with us.
Now the angel, I ain't do mistake. People wrong address.
All right, so I can see Simon, George. We're waiting for other people to quickly do it, please. It's important. Sort of helps us know the people that we have. Yeah, and so we're not guessing. There's Maxwell. Maxwell, you only told us your name. Please don't be shy, honestly, even if it's 1 month. Just put it there. Nobody is doing anything here. Most of us are just let to learn. All right, pending when other people would do that. Isaac, I feel like I would give you the floor to start. It's a class that shouldn't take more than an hour, right? Max, more than an hour. So in an hour, we should be able to sell out everything we want to say today. So Isaac, I'm leaving the floor to you. Do your magic. Be the
All
Harry
right.
Potter for tonight. Wand your stick and then take us. All right.
All right. All right. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Uh, it was really great being here, and thanks to Design Yard people for giving me this opportunity. Um, it's really nice seeing everyone here and looking at the experience, like the experiences we have here. I know we have like people and like with diverse experience, and I am looking forward to a really engaging session tonight. So as I will start now. So while at it, if you have any question, please do not hesitate to drop it in the chat box, and I can look at it and like give us and just like talk about it. All right. So my name is Isaac Olagoke. I'm a UX designer. I work with Rosette. Rosette is a company based in the US. They're solving problems in the mental health space. So my day to day job description is basically making usable products, designing and just designing usable products for our everyday users. All right, so we just dive straight into auto layout. And please ignore my calf. It's just one of those things. I feel like it shouldn't be the normal tech bro appearance. So at least something away from the norm that we are all used to. I mean, what tech bros looks like. All right, so we just dive straight into um, our class for today. Just like Emmanuel said, this class will be less than an hour, and this is what I will cover in the course of this. So at the end of the day, I'll just give us like introduction to what auto layout is, what it does, what are the new tricks Figma introduced, and how we can make our work easier and faster. I use auto layouts like almost every day, and I can tell us that it actually makes work easier. So we're going to look at what auto layouts is, and of course, we're going to take a detour to CSS Flexbox, where the concept of auto layouts actually came from. Then we look at the basics, what's how we can resize objects with auto layouts, direction, spacing, and padding. Then I look at the catch. One really cute feature, new feature that I really love, and that's absolute position. I love it so much because like positioning elements before this particular update as was like really wasn't that easy. But with this one now, I'm really looking forward to this part of the class. All right, so I go straight to it. So what is auto layout? Um, Auto layout helps us like create designs and just like makes it fluid. So I let you create design that's grow and shrink and fit depending on the size or what you are doing. Like just like makes the content responsive, makes it easier and make it faster. Um, I just go straight to it. So how do we create? How do we start auto layout? So basically, it's very simple. So on your Figma board, you just by selecting two objects and clicking on the auto layout button, just like I have here. So select an existing frame or the objects you want to have in the auto layout. Press Shift A plus A, and or just click the auto layouts. I can just give us a show an example when we get there. So now let me go to my workspace and show us what I'm trying to say. So look at what I have here, just like the definition I have. We want this is the final this is what we want to make. I want to make this button. How do we make it in auto layout? It's so I have a text here, and how do we make auto layout? It's just by clicking the auto layout shift A plus A, but because I just have one, let me duplicate this just so that it will be easy for us. So I'm selecting these two text now, and if you look at the right hand side of the screen here, where my cursor is, you see this auto layout, this add auto layout, and this plus button. All you need to do is just to click on the plus, and you have your auto layout. Now if you can observe, you will see that I have this red red line when I over it. That is like what is telling you, okay, now the auto layout is active, and now you can begin to style, you can continue to style or whatever you want to do. And because what I want to make is a button, I will remove the other text, and here we are. So this is a text that has auto layout applied on it, and I will just like give it the styling I want. If you look at my left hand side here, and just follow my cursor, you will see auto layouts. You will see this direction, this arrow, vertical direction, this arrow that is pointing downwards, and this other arrow that is pointing to the horizontal direction. And you see this icon where my cursor is. So if I want to like give it padding here, what I just need to do is say top and bottom, which I will see explain later. I just want to show us what auto layout is and how you can quickly set up something very fast. So I will just give it left and right padding of 24 pixels, and I'll give it top and bottom padding of 16 px. So we have our button. So I will add the background color to it. That's automatically white. Then I will add border radius of 8. So in less than how many seconds? This can be done like in 2 seconds. I have my button. So that is one way that can really make up. That's one that is how you can how Australia can really speed and make our work like really fast and easy. Before this, maybe how you make your button is you have your text and you need to create a rectangle, you need to create a rectangle and give it like okay, uh like give it like a white background, and you place your text in it, you put your text in it, and maybe you frame it, add it as a frame, or you group it together, which is also like very fine. But looking at the process we have to go through before we can create this button, what Auto Layout is doing, or what it does, is that it makes the process very easy. All we need to do is our text, type shift plus A. Is it shift? This is plus A for Mac, and that should be the command plus A for Windows. Or you just click on the add auto layout button by your right hand side, and there you go. You have your button. All right. Now I want us to go to the background of how like auto layouts really came, like how what's the concept of auto layout, how Figma developed this concept, and I believe it will really make our work easier tonight. And I'll just take us through CSS Flexbox. Now, CSS Flexbox now it's a is one way we can use to, it's for people that are familiar with like programming with front end. CSS is a front end programming language. The language, I call it language, yeah. So for you to like develop websites or design develop websites, you need HTML, CSS, JavaScript. So CSS is just one of what you need to be able to like develop websites. So when you have when you design your beautiful screens, front end engineers use they use this CSS to like style whatever you design in Figma. So now, today is where Figma came to develop the concept of auto layout, and that is Flexbox. Now, what Flexbox do is just like give us flexibility, like how to like create content along the cross axis, along the cross and main axis. So when you apply flex to a particular element or container, it gives this fluidity, and it just enables you to like be able to like style your content or style whatever you want to do according, like if like cross axis, that's like the y-axis. If you're familiar with the Cartesian plane, that's like horizontal. I just use so that I'm not go deep in. I just like horizontal vertical axis. So just FlexS makes it easy for us to like style according to like horizontal and vertical axis. So I'll just go and dive straight into it. So how do you apply Flexbox? Remember, I said the reason I'm going this route is because I feel it will be very, very easy for us to understand the concept of auto layout if we go the route of Flexbox, where auto layout actually came from. And I think if you have like good understanding of this, when we get to the practical aspect of auto layout, it will be easy for us to like to understand. So now, how do you add? So let's say we are coding now, or we are designing, we are trying to like implement a design. How do we initiate, or how do we like create a Flexbox? How do you add Flexbox to a property? It's just by adding like the container. Like let's say you have the container now. Now look at my cursor now. You see my cursor now. Look at it where we have this row. So when I say container, I'm referring to this blue background. That's the container. So for us to apply flex to this particular container, all we need to tell this container is like display flex, and automatically it will add like the flex property. It sets the main axis, add flex property to that container or to the content inside that container. And we have different instruction, different direction we can give this can give our we can set when it comes to like applying flex to what we are doing. So now we have like the row, we have the column, we have the row reverse, we have the column reverse. And these are all of these are like the same principle that Figma employed in auto layout. I'm going to give us a practical example of how this works now. So let's say we have a container and we have 3 different boxes in our container. When we apply the flex property to it, what it does to our item in that container is just that it automatically puts them like place them side by side, and applies this flex instruction to it. So automatically your content just takes that horizontal form. So these are the instruction we can give it. Can like the instruction we can give to our children, like the children in our container. Say the row, you can tell it like go in the road direction, that's like horizontal, or goes in or going like in the vertical direction. We also have like different instruction you can use, like flex start. You can tell like the properties in your container to go to the right. That's the start of the container. Or you can say you have a flex and you can tell it like to move to the end of the container. You can center your contents by giving the instruction of flex center, and you can give spaces, like you can put spaces in between your content. You agree with me that these are like the principle we employed or we use in our day-to-day work when we design. Like you have like a container, or you have like a box, you have like a box, you have different properties or different items you are putting in a block box. Maybe you have image. Let's say you are making a card, for example. You have image, you have text, you have like the text, you have the description. So these are like items you can put in our box. So you can give them all of these different all of these different instructions. Say you want your items in that particular card to move to the right, that's flex start. You want them to move to the end, that's flex end. You want to center all of your contents, put them all of them in the center, or you want to put space in between. Now, yeah, these are like other properties or other instructions you can give to our flex. Let's say you have contents that same container, you want them to be at the top, or you want them to be at the end, you want them to be in the middle, or you want them to stretch. Now, I'm going to give us like a practical example of this now. Now, so I have like a code template here, and what we are going to do, just like we're going to like just visualize everything I just said. Now, if you collect, you see that this is like the exact card I have in my design here, and I have some codes here, and I have the live version of it, like HTML and CSS. So now I just want to give us like a practical example before we dive into auto layout and how this works in the real life. Of course, you don't need to know how to code. I just want to give us like an example of what Flexbox is and how auto layouts like just like how auto layout is adapted from that. Now look at this. Now what we have here is just like a container, just like I said, and we have 3 different items in our container. If you remember when I showed us something like this now. This is like we are saying that all of our container all of the items in it, we want space in between. So this item now, this container now is saying that put space in between all of our items. Now, if I say I want all of them to be align items now, specify content, I want them to be flex start. What I just need to come here is specify content. I just change it here and say flex start. If I save it, can you see they all move to the beginning of that container? If I say flex end now, if I give the instruction of flex end and I save it, can you see it? They all move to the end of the container. If I say align items here, just like I have it here, align items flex end, align item flex end, what it will do is that it will move the property in that container to the end of the container. Can you see? If I say flex start, flex starts, can you see? To move them. So this is this exact principle that Figma look like, okay, it can bring all of these principles in Flexbox and bring them to auto layout to make our design easy. And that was exactly what Figma did. So now let us now look at everything. Now we know the foundation of auto layout, how the concept of auto layout came about. You know that it's gotten from Flex and from Flexbox, CSS Flexbox, and it is used to like position items in a container, just like makes it easy for it to position item along the vertical and the horizontal axis, depending on what you want to do. Okay, one other example I should give before we move is stretch. Align item stretch. I don't know. I think something's wrong with this. I just try not to waste our time. Let me just go straight into it. So now we've learned that uh, auto layout was gotten from the flex box. Enable us to like add flex content to all the children element of a container. Now, let us now go back to our auto layout. Now, how do you adjust or how do you create auto layouts? Remember, let us go back to our workspace and just continue with this. Now, I say here now, I have here now that so when you create auto layout on a particular element, you see this, you see something like this. You see this red line that Figma already created to help us like edit auto layout easily. And let me create something to make this easy for us and so as not to waste our time. Let me remove this and duplicate it. If you see this now, look at these two elements now. Let's say I want to put both of them in a container. I want to like put them in a container. And I also apply auto layout to this now. And I just select both of them and come to my right hand side there and click on the plus icon. That's like auto layout automatically like added to these two icons. Now, when you hover on it, you will see that you have this red. Can you see this red highlighted area that looks like grid? They're applying grid. That is like the control. This is like the space in between both items. So now if you want to adjust the space, you can either drag it. Can you see? Just click on it. Just click on it and either drag it, or you click on it and look at it. Drag 59. You can add the spacing in between. Let's say I want to give this 12 pixel or 16 pixel. Just type it. Can you see? So that's how easy it is. If you want to add padding to it, you can come to the edge of the container, click on it, and add 16 pixel padding to the top. If you want to add padding to the bottom too, same thing. Click on it, add 16 pixel padding to it. Same thing to the right, same thing to the left.
Falou.
Same thing to the right, same thing to the left. So you can add, that's how you can add padding to it. If you don't want to do it here, another way you can do it is you come to the auto layout section here by your right hand or right hand side of the screen, and you can add your spacing here too. Look at it. You can either drag it or insert whatever spacing you want here. And now another trick you can use to make adding spacing or padding easier is that this horizontal padding means like left and right. This icon, if you look at the icon on my, I don't know if it is clear, you see that it's showing us like left and right. That's horizontal. When you over it, even when you suggest that what you want to give to this particular element is a left and right padding. So you can click on it and you can say 16. If you want to apply top and bottom, that's vertical padding. You can come here again and also type 16. If you want to see everything you are doing, like see them in real time, you can come here and click on this independent padding icon, and you can come here. Let's say you want to like give them like different padding, so you can come and say 24 for the top, for the left. If you click on tab will just like take you to the next. Instead of like clicking on it, you can just like use tab to like move around. You can use tab like your tab button to move around. So left padding is like right padding. You can put it 24, top padding 24, bottom padding 24. So you can use that to like create padding around your item. Now we have learned how to uh, create auto layout. So when you have like two different elements, all you need to do is to select both elements, or just like you have more than two, you have 3 or 4. All you need to do is to select all of your elements. Once you select it, you can click on the plus icon by your right hand side and like to create the auto layout, or you can just click on Shift plus A to create.
Mic check. But could you check? Admin, could you check? Isaac is on mute. Yeah. Cool.
Well, I'm sorry. How long have I been on mute, please?
No, just 10 seconds. Nothing big. You can carry
Oh,
on.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I think I pressed something else and just like just I'm sorry. I'm sorry for that. So now I was saying that now look at our item here. If you want to like edit opposing sides, now instead of like no, I said the other time that we have like two different items. If you want to add spacing to it, like okay, you want to add like left padding or right padding, all you need to do is just over here and just click on it and you can add your spacing. Same for the right and for the left. But another way to do this is just to click on the odds and on the alt key, and you can edit both sides. So by clicking on the alt key now, you can see that it's just like very easy way, an easier way of like adding padding to my item. Another way you can like use that is like alt and shift. I think alt should be I can't really, I'm not using Windows. Alt should be on Windows alt key. Sorry, I just wanted to check that.
I think Alt is Alt on Windows. It's
Okay,
in it's on it's on
okay,
MacBook.
okay, yeah. So okay, so like just click on the odds, just like you can edit opposing sides. If you want to do that for all of the side, you can just click on Alt and Shift. Alt and Shift for Windows should be, apologies, please. Okay, yeah, I think Shift 2 is also Shift on Windows. So just click on Shift, like Alt and Shift key, and you can edit every part of your auto layout. Very, very easy and straight to the point. All right, so now that we have that, we can go to how to edit children of like auto layout. So now what I have here is like I have like a container and I have like children in it. So I have like a blue container and I have like I have different boxes. I have 1, 2, 3 here. Now, so that it will be easier for us, I can just like create this from scratch and just so that we can see what okay. I can just continue. Now, how did I create this again? Just like a quick run down of how you can add auto layout to something like this. So I have 3 different boxes here, labeled 1, 2, and 3. I want to add auto layout to this and I want to achieve what I have up here. Very easy. I just need to type Shift A or come to my left hand side here and click plus and I have auto layout added. If I want to add spacing to it, just like I said earlier, I can just click on the space in between this place and you can add spacing. Let's say I'm adding 24. And look, automatically you have added 24 pixel padding between your item. If you want to add space around it, like give this container padding, click on your auto layout, come to your side here, or come to your side here by your right hand side and just put horizontal padding 24 pixel and vertical padding 24 pixels. That's one way to do it. Another way is that you can actually come to your item, click on the edge of the box or the container and you can type the padding you want to put there. So now I have my auto layout added to it. I want to give it background. I just come to your right side of the screen again. Look at where my cursor is here. You can click on fill and add a blue background to your container. And just in like how many minutes, I already created something similar to what I have here, as you can see. Now, if you want to order elements around like okay, say okay, I want to move elements around in my auto layout. How do I do that? Just click on any of the child elements and use your arrow key. By using your arrow key, you can order elements and can you see? I just click on the first one, number 1, and just by pressing my arrow key, I can move it around. Easy. Let's say you have a card like this and you want to move item around. That's how to do it. Now, Okay, so we go to the next. We go to like a more practical example of how we can do something. We can like use auto layout. And before we go there, I also want to just give us like some of the key the controls in auto layout. Now, when you add auto layout to your item, remember I said earlier that, oh, you want to add auto layout, what you do is just to click the plus button. So what you do here is that when you want to add auto layout, once you add like two different items together, and auto layout is like added to a particular container or particular element, it shows this minus sign. That means you can remove auto layouts from it. So that means that auto layout is already added to that particular element. So when you otherwise already added to a particular element, what you see this subtract sign, that means you want to remove it. And now, once the layout is added, we have different controls. So let's say in that particular element, you want the element to like take horizontal, to go in the horizontal direction. We have this horizontal arrow. If you want them to go in the vertical direction, you have this vertical arrow. Let me implement that, so that let me demonstrate that, so that we see. Look at this now. When we created this, the automatic dimension, or the automatic automatic layout Figma will give you when you add auto layout to a particular element is the horizontal direction. Now, if you want to change this, all you need to do is just to come to your right hand side of the screen here and click on the horizontal arrow. Can you see? By just clicking now, by just clicking on the horizontal arrow, we change the direction of this particular element. If you want to return it to the vertical direction, all you need to do is just to click on it again, and that is it. Easy peasy. Now, if you have different elements in a particular container and you want to order them around, look at this look at this. I just like add the screenshots and just show us how we can do it. It's also like on my right side of the screen, you see it here. You can follow my cursor, you will see the auto layout, you see the so you want to place whichever way you want to place your elements, maybe like the top left corner, top right corner, center. All you need to do is just like click on this artboard, and just like on this section, and just like order your elements around. All right, so we go to like a more practical example now. Look at what I have here. This is like a more practical example that we use nowadays today. I want to make this card now. Let's say like this is a card that you can use to order shrimps. So what we need to do is just like, okay, I'm taking all of them out now, and I want to create something like this. Now, look at this now. I want to create something like this, and I have these three elements. How auto layout can make this work easier is like it's simple and straightforward. Just click on all of them, select all of the elements, and I'm not seeing auto layouts. What's happening? Okay, I think this one is not in the artboard. Yeah. Okay, so select all of the elements. Something is wrong there. Please give me a minute. Let me try and fix this. Okay, so select all of your elements. This is like this, and just add that element. Apologies for that. So select like the two elements and just add auto layout to it. Now we have auto layout added to this. Somehow, yeah. So now we have auto layout added to this. Remember, this is the goal. This is what I want to create. And just like, how do we add the dimension to it? You can either add it by your left hand side of the screen here, or you can click on the element itself and just let's add 16 pixel to it. And That's all. We have our auto layouts. We can also add our padding to it. Padding, let's say 16 pixel, our vertical padding, and 16 pixel horizontal padding. We want to add our background to it. Just click on fill here, and that's it. We have our, this is like a practical example of how auto layouts can speed up our work. So what I did here is just that we have the different elements. I want to make a card. I select the image. I select the description. I select the title, the title and the description, and I added auto layout to this particular element. Straightforward. Now, I move to the next item today. Now, how do you resize elements in auto layout? This is like one way that auto layout has made. Auto layout is like making elements really fluid. I mean, I don't know if you have seen like example of people trying to resize elements in Figma. This is how they did it. So now, still retaining our previous example, I want to resize this now. I want to stretch it. Now, what you just have to do is that after creating auto layouts, we already learned how to create auto layouts. How do I stretch this and make sure like it is stretchy like this? Now, another thing I want us to know is that, let me ungroup it and start it from the scratch. The default actually is not like this automatic stretching. Let me quickly do this. Okay, add 16 pixels to it. Now, if I try to like, can you see that it's not stretching? This is the default. When you add the layout to this element, let's say what you want to do is that you want the element or the item in your container to respond to the size, to like the size of the parents. If you want the children in that particular container to respond to the sizing or maybe the resizing or whatever you want to do, what you just need to do is that on the parent element, on the child element, just go to individual and look at my right hand side here. Come to the right hand of the screen here. You will see this fixed and org content. Then the vertical resizing. This like this fixed. Now this first container, this first drop down. What it's saying is that we have different values we can give this particular child element. The first one is fixed width, and what fixed width means is that I want this child element to retain this particular width or this particular dimension. So let's say I'm giving this particular child element, I'm giving it 42 pixels. What I'm saying is that whatever it is that the parent is doing, that's like the blue container, I don't want it to affect, I don't want this child element to change. You're giving like a fixed width. So that means if it is fixed, nothing will change. All content means that I want this parent, this child element now to respond to the size of the element inside it. So now that I click on org element, you can see that it automatically adopted the size of the child in it, of this like figure one. If I duplicate this one, for example, now let's say, let me detach this instance now. I duplicate one, for example. Can you see that? Okay, let me give it horizontal. Now, this particular container is responding to the size of the element in it. It's responding to the size of element in it. But if I change it to field container, I'm telling it to take all of the available space in this parent element. A quick rundown of what I just explained again. I'm saying that this horizontal resizing, what it does is that it has three different values. It says there's a fixed width value that says that I can give like a specified width. Let's say I'm giving it 200 pixels. I'm saying that whatever it is that the parent is doing, can you see? I don't want it to affect my child element. Now that's what the fixed value does. If I say all content, I want it to respond to the size or the sizes of the elements in it. That means it's hugging, like just like taking the size of the element in it. And if I now say I want it to fill the container, I'm saying that irrespective of the size of the element in it, even if it's just like one item, sorry, even if it's just one item in it, let's say I'm reducing it to one now. Can you see that it is still taking all of the available space in that for that particular element? So, and this is the exact, this is like if you change this to horizontal, to this is like the exact way it works for uh, horizontal resizing. So let me change this to horizontal. Oh, okay, so that's so now horizontal to like has the same principle. If I say fixed height, I'm telling you to take like a particular fixed height. In this situation, I have 68 pixels. If I'm saying to all content, I'm telling you to adjust. You should adjust itself to the size or sizes of the elements in it. If I say you should fill the container, I'm telling it to like take all of the available space in the parent's content. That is what this particular element does. So I've explained how to resize. Now let me now go back to the first example that we have. You know, remember that when we go to this section, what I tried to do was I tried to move this container, say, and can observe, can see that it's not like it's not resizing. It's not resizing. So how can we fix this? So we now go to like the individual child elements in it, and we tell them to fill. We tell them to fill the container, fill container, fill container. So can you see? What happened the other time was that while working on it, I automatically I mistakenly added like padding to it. So that was why we had that large space initially. So now that we given the instruction to each of the child elements here, we told them, we gave them instruction like to fill all of the available spaces in that particular element. So if you come to the parents level now, you can now easily resize whatever content you have in it. So you can think of this in the aspect of, let's say you have a text and you want the text to automatically adjust to the container size. So let's say you have text in this now, and we want it to respond to the movement, or like when we change this, that is exact instruction you will give a text. But then just take text like, okay, just take the text to fill the container. So now if I change it back to all contents, for example, and I resize it, you see that that first element just like is taking this the size, or taking like the dimension of the element in it. So that is resizing in auto layout. I've already mentioned what all content means. And what that means is just that you're telling it that when you resize, want you to, I want you to, when you create a auto layout, I want you to respond to the size of the elements in that particular container. That is what org content does. For fixed sizes, now look at this, for example. Now I've also mentioned this, like if you want the element, you don't want anything to happen to it, you don't want it to change, you want like a fixed size, that whatever you do to that particular element, you just want it to take that particular dimension, like take all of the spaces, don't want it just like fixed. So just like go to the child element in each one of them and just change it to horizontal, just take it to fixed width. So now if I resize this, it won't respond. The child element won't respond to the width of the parents. Can you see? They won't respond. But no matter what I do, no matter what the resizing, they won't respond. The same thing applies to this vertical. The same thing applies to horizontal. If you are doing it, if you want to, the same thing applies. Now look at this. I feel like I think I've not explained how this works. Now just like look at what this is, what you want to recreate now. What is happening here is just that, I won't explain it, What is happening here is that we are telling each of the elements here, each of the element, that's like the boxes 1, 2, and 3 now. We want them to fill this container. And how do we do it? Just come here. We have our auto layout already applied to this. How do we do that? So let's say our element here is 153. Let me change all of this so that I can give a practical example. All contents. Oh yeah. So now I want to give a practical example now. I want these 3 elements, these 3 children elements to fill this container. And what do? Just come straight into our elements, our item in this container, select all of them. And the other way to do it is, let's say, just like we select all of them, just for the purpose of this example, select all of them and come to your right hand side, top right corner here, and change all of them to fill container. Can you see automatically they take all of the available space? So now if I'm adding more to this container, for example, now it just be shrinking. It's like they keep on like taking all of the available spaces that we have. All right. I want to give us another practical example of how we can resize elements in auto layouts. Now, look at this. Look at this. Look at this card, for example. Now, you can specify in Figma in like for this like constraints. Now, you can set the constraint of your elements. So let's say this particular card now, I want to add more text to it. So let's say you are creating a design system, or you are creating a design system, and you just have like an example of what your card would look like. So for this example now, this is what we want our card to look like, and we want to scale it. You can give any instruction to your card. Say you want it to scale from the center, or you want it to scale from the top right corner with them, or whatever you want to give it. So now this card now, we want it to scale from the center when we add more text to it. Remember how we did how we added our constraints, or our constraints or our child elements the other time. All you have to do is just to come to your right hand side again, where you have the values there, and come to the constraint section and click on center So when you give this value, what it does is just that we're telling it that every addition I add to this particular card, I want my element, I want the card to expand from the center. Can you see? I want it to expand from the center. If we change it to like top right, it will change from the top, like let's use like top right and top now. You will see that if we adjust like the scaling will move towards the right hand side. Can you see it? So that is how.
Isaac, sorry, if I don't cut you short. Isaac,
okay. Yes,
sorry. We have 10 minutes more.
All right. Okay, thank you. So I'm almost done with my example. So that's how you can resize elements with auto layout. All right. I'll also mention this now. How do you change direction in auto layout? Just by pressing the horizontal arrow, or the horizontal direction arrow, or the vertical direction arrow. So this now, look at my card here. I want to change the direction of this card. Auto layout is already added, it's already enabled on this particular card. I want to change it horizontal. Just click on here, come to your right hand side here, where you have the auto layout section, and click on the horizontal direction. Can you see? Automatically changes the direction of that particular content to the horizontal part. You can also change it back. They are very easy to do. Now I want to talk about spacing, or like ordering your elements around in auto layout. Now I think this is the last section in auto layout. Look at this now. We have 3 different elements in this in our card. We have one. Look at it, this first one. What we gave this is like fill with like we told it to like. The instruction we gave this is like if you fill the available space in that particular card. Second one is the fixed width. Third one is also a fixed width. Now how do you move elements around? Let's say I want all my elements to be like the bottom, to appear at the bottom of this particular container. Come to your auto layout section here, and you can give any alignment you want. Auto layout section, look at this card, look at this direction, this icon we have here. And when I over it, you see that it has different different angles or different direction we can give it. So if you say center, for example, now it brings all the elements in that particular card to the center. If you say left align, can you see it moves them to the right? If you say bottom right alignment, click on bottom right alignment, it brings all the elements to the bottom right side of that particular card. That's how you can move your elements around in auto layout. Can we see? So that's what I have here. So this is also another new addition that auto layout also added to, which wasn't there before. So let's say we have the 3 different cards here. I think this is like kind of useful when we do this kind of useful when we want to stack cards on each other. When let's say you have like profile pictures and you want to like merge all of them together, how do you do it? So we already know how to enable auto layout. Just select all of them, click on auto layout, and come to this advanced section. Look at this more button that I click here, and come to canvas stacking. So you can either choose last on top. When you choose last on top, you see the look at it. Last on top means like the elements appear under each other. The last element like appears under, will go under the preceding element. Can you see? If you choose first on top, last, okay, this is first on top. If you choose last on top, it's just like the opposite of what we just did. The last element will appear on the preceding element. All right, so let me also take this absolute positioning. Now, before now, if you want to do something like this, look at what I have here. If you want to have something like this, let's say you have this counter or you have a notification bar, and you want a counter that just shows how many notifications you have. Before now, what we do is kind of difficult to achieve this with auto layout. But with absolute positioning, what this is doing now, what this Figma just did is that you can have 2 different elements like this, enable auto layout on them, and click on the elements you want to, let's say like the counter or whatever you want to do. Click on it and come to this top right corner of the screen and click on absolute positioning. Can you see that it collapsed? So once you enable absolute positioning on this particular element, you can now order it around. You can move it around rather and place it wherever you want to place it. Now you see that I can drag this as a single element now. This is like a really, really cool feature that Figma just added to auto layout. So lastly, I want to show us an example of how we can use auto layout to make a table. Look at this table now. And table is like one of the difficult things to achieve with, like to build in Figma. And let me show you like an example of how fluid this table is. Look at this company, for example. I can move it around by just like clicking on that particular company and using the arrow key. I can move it around. Look at this name, for example. Now I can move it around. It's like it makes it really easy. So what we have here is that, so let's say I want to reproduce this table now. All I have to do is just to click on all of my elements, select all of them, and click on my auto layout button. Once that is selected, I can now style it. By styling it, let me come to the fill here, give it a background color of white, give it a padding of, let's say, let me give it a padding here, and give it a padding of 16 pixels left and right, and 16 pixels top and bottom. I think that's too much. Let me change it to 8 top and bottom. Can you see? Just like that, we have our table ready. Now, if I want to add this other element to it, And that way I can do it is I can that's my table header. I can just select the table data here, the other data I want, and enable the same auto layout. Auto layout already enabled on it, like in this now. Now to now achieve what I have here, no, instead of doing that, I can just like duplicate it. I can just duplicate this again. So I'm selecting all of them here, enable another auto layout inside it, and I can duplicate this. Okay, before I duplicate it, let me give this my parents. My parents now, coming back to my parents now, I can change the direction. The current direction we have now is the horizontal, and we don't want it to go that way. We want it to go the vertical direction because we want it to go down. So I can just change the direction to vertical direction and come back to my frame inside it and click on duplicate. Control D. Automatically, I have my table data. So I can now come here and change the elements I have here. I can change this to General Electric. I remove this. I take it there. I can even drag an element here and order it. Can you see how I move? How I move that around. So you can moving around, just come to the right hand side here and click on the direction. Can you see direction button? That's how you can move elements around. So like in how many minutes now? Less than a minute, you can create your table. That's like one of the advantage of or one of the benefit of auto layout. Same, you can use it like for anything. You can use it like create card. You can use it to create card. You can use it to create header. Very easy. Just select the elements. You can put space in between. I think. So let me give us an example of like an header now. Very fast. I think I see how like maybe 2 minutes. So this is an example of header now. Let's say this is my logo, and we have different, let's say, button. Let me do this one as about us. About us. About us. Now I want to create header here. Let me change this to 14. All right, so this is like my header. This is my contact us button. This is my CTA. Contact us. All right, so this is my button, and this I want to create header. How do I create this? I can just select both of these together because I want them this about us and my contact us button to be right aligned. I can enable auto layout on that. Reduce the padding in between them. I use a padding in between them by either clicking on it or coming to the right hand side of your section here to adjust the padding. So once I do that, I can now select my logo and my buttons and enable auto layouts. Just like that, I have my auto layout enabled. Can you see? So now auto layout is enabled. I have something that looks like an header now. So I can now continue to style it. I can add background color to it, add padding to it, 16 top and right. Let's also add 16 pixel left and right. So easy peasy. Just like that, I have my header. Now automatically I feel like another way we can order elements around here is, let's say I want this my about us to appear in the middle. How do I do that? Can come to the okay. So like now I want this to appear in the middle now. That means I want this. I will have to adjust the width of this to take like all of the available space we have here. This is one annoying about this new feature. So this is taking like all of the width here. I want this to appear in the middle. I can just come to the auto layout alignment here and click on center. Can you see we have all of that about us and contact us button in the middle. So this is like this is like a practical example of how auto layout can make our day-to-day work easy. Can use it to order elements around, can use it like create cards, can use it to create buttons. Talk about how we can use it to create buttons. Talk about how we can order elements around, how we can use it to resize elements. We talk about how we can stack our cards, how we can put the last on top, the first on top. I think this is like one feature that wasn't in the previous auto layout that is kind of difficult to create. That means you have to like individually come on each of them and like order them. But now just with a click, with a single click, you can order them, put the last on top or first on top. And with absolute positioning, talk about how you can come to a particular element, enable absolute positioning on it, and you can order it around in that same container, and you can move your container around. All right, I think we have covered all of the basics of auto layout. Thank you.
All right. Yeah. So thank you so much, Isaac. So I didn't want to cut you short because I know that me, I'm enjoying the class, and other people are enjoying this class. So what we would do is we would have another session with you for auto layout again,
Okay.
right? So that we don't rush people, and then at the same time you're not saddled with responsibility to rush yourself, right? So we'll create another auto layout class. We can call that auto layout 2.0.
Okay.
So that people would learn and you can expand more on, you can expatiate more on what you're trying to, like teach us. So making out your time, like to listen today. Yes, not like talking, was I'm just kidding. But thank you so much, guys, for for being at the yard with us today to learn one or two. If you don't follow us, you can go on Instagram and follow Design Yard people. We're on Instagram, we're on Twitter now, thanks to Pelumi. So you can find us on Twitter. You can also find us on Instagram, right? We're a small community. We're not a small community of people who just want to help ourselves grow and vibe to the lot of our employees, right? So that's all for today. Thank you so much, guys. Do have a wonderful and lovely day. You can also follow Isaac. Isaac, you can also drop your social media handle in the message if you want people to follow you, right? So thank you so much, guys, for coming around. We call so once we agree on the date for the next class, which is an auto layout, maybe the auto layout 2.0 class, we will sure communicate that with everyone. Thank you so much, guys. It's a good night from us. Stay blessed, stay safe. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Video will be available on YouTube too.